breakfast.
Everything you need to start your day.
On 1062 ABC Riverland.
Time for news now. It's 6:30.
ABC News for the Riverland and Mallee. Good morning, I'm Celeste Gibson. A review of the Patient Assistance Transport Scheme has suggested amending the criteria to reduce the number of people who can access the funding. The scheme provides a subsidy for people travelling from regional areas for medical treatment. The findings of the review outline a range of options, including a financial disadvantage test to provide funding to those most in need. The State Health Minister Jack Snelling says the government wants to improve the way the system is currently operating.
Now, we realise that there's some shortcomings. I mean, at the moment, I think everyone acknowledges that there are people who are either missing out on assistance entirely or they're not getting the assistance that they need. What we want to make sure of is that the people who need the money are able to access it.
The draft review paper will be available for public comment until the 11th of October. The new emergency department at the Riverland General Hospital in Berry will be officially open today. The ED has its own 24-hour entrance with a dedicated driveway for ambulances. The hospital's new rehabilitation unit is also opening, and the state government hopes it will allow patients to return home from Adelaide sooner. A $36 million redevelopment of the hospital is expected to finish next year. The Berry-Barmera Council will lodge a planning application with the Development Assessment Panel to build a new sports stadium in Berry. Chief Executive David Beaton says it's been meeting with local sporting groups over the past few months to ensure the facility will benefit the entire community. This week, the council voted on Glassy Park as the preferred location for the stadium. Mr Beaton says while it's a good first step, the project is still in its early stages.
Look, we have to get the planning approval first. Us, like everyone else, needs to get the proper planning approval. So, I would expect that will take a couple of months because it's not a decision that's made by the council. But once we've got that, we can go out to tender from there.
The Winegrape Council of South Australia says the problem of broadacre herbicide sprays drifting onto vineyards has substantially declined through better education and communication between growers. Herbicide spray drift can cause significant damage to grapes. The Winegrape Council's chairman, Simon Berry, says the end of winter signals the start of restrictions on the use of some chemicals.
Budburst has started now and will be advancing particularly next week where it's going to be warm. So the critical thing is that there's no contact between those products and green tissue on grapes. And grapes are very sensitive to those products.
The South Australian Regent Parrot Recovery Team says it hopes to see a further increase in bird numbers this season. The team will monitor populations of regent parrots at 10 sites along the River Murray when the breeding season begins in the coming weeks. The group's chairman, Kevin Smith, says a surge in numbers at the end of last season suggests the species is recovering from the drought years. He says the team will attach tracking devices to birds and install cameras in nests to look at factors affecting breeding.
Things like competitions. Are other birds competing with them? Are other animals competing with them for hollows, like bees, for instance? Is there any predation of nests? So there are a number of predators out there. How much of that do we see? And how many young do, in the end, fledge from each nest?
To sport, reigning premiers Barmera Monash will take on Loxton North in the first game of the Riverland Football League finals tomorrow. Waikerie will play Loxton on Sunday, with the winner going through to next week's preliminary final. In the Independence League, Paringa and East Murray will play off for a spot in next weekend's grand final. And in Riverland A-grade netball, Loxton takes on Berry, with the winner going through to play Renmark for the premiership next week. And former East Murray football player Sam Durden has been awarded an AFL Life Members Scholarship. The award recognises outstanding young talent, both on and off the field. Previous winners include Geelong captain Joel Selwood and West Coast ruckman Nick Natanui. 17-year-old Durden has also been selected in next year's intake for the Australian Institute of Sport AFL Academy. He's currently with the West Adelaide Football Club. To the weather now, and we can expect a mostly sunny morning with the chance of isolated showers tonight. Daytime maximum temperatures across the region should be in the low to mid-20s. And both Renmark and Waikerie are heading for a top of 24 degrees today. ABC News.